So, one very basic question I have, something that a lot of people would also love to know. You know that this is a losing battle. You know that you're fighting on the losing side. But then why contest this election?
Shobnaji, I have never entertained the idea that this is a losing battle. Because the Electoral College to elect the Vice President of India consists of members of the Parliament, not the political parties. Therefore, I did not count as to how many political parties there in India and how many political parties are there in India bloc and how many political parties are there not belonging to either this or that. I thought I would appeal to the members of the Parliament to consider my candidature on its own merits and take an appropriate decision in the matter. That's going to be my appeal. Therefore, your question, having known that the numbers are against you, why have you decided to contest? May not be really a correct and an appropriate question. Shall I go further?
Yes, please.
I still believe and confident that honorable members of the Parliament will think about my candidature, my track record, my service to this nation in my own way. Would be the factors that would help me to getting elected to the office of the President.
So, what does this contest mean for you?
I did not really set the agenda. The agenda was set by the other side. I would not say opponent or the other side. Because they started proudly proclaiming that here is a candidate who joined a particular organization, that is RSS, at the age of 15. And therefore, this would be what you call a fight, ideological fight, Desh Bhakti, etc. Then I responded, it is true, it is going to be an ideological fight between a liberal constitutional democrat and a quintessential RSS person. Which they themselves are put into issue. That's how I look at the contest, and that's how I believe it's an ideological fight.
So,
numbers become irrelevant in such a fight.
yes. So, one more thing I want to understand. I'm sure you must have answered this several times, but yesterday Home Minister Amit Shah pulled out an old judgment written by you on, on Salwa Judum. Yes, I was trying to read it online before coming here.
Well, in the car you can read it in the print.
Yes, thank you.
If you find any substance, please say
that
what Shah is saying. Please put the question.
Yes, but he says that your judgment helped promote Naxalism, that you are pro-Naxals. How do you respond to such a charge?
Shobnaji, there are two issues. One, it is not my judgment. It's no doubt true. I have authored the judgment. It's the judgment of the Supreme Court. You are talking about the judgment of the Supreme Court. whatever its merits may be, there are acceptable standards to review a judgment and make a comment upon that. We don't choose the author of the judgment and make our comments. Under those circumstances, I believe the Honorable Home Minister of India may not have gone through the judgment, and perhaps he was briefed by some assistants or XYZ, and he appears to have reacted. And I do not want to join any issue with him or a debate unless he really wants to have a debate about it. Secondly, I am trained and learned from persons like Parasar that a judge should never defend his judgment in public. Judgment should speak for itself. Judge's duty is over once he signs. It becomes a public property. Third thing, I was not alone. There was a brother judge sitting with me. Unfortunately, we have lost him. He is no more. S.S. Nijar comes from Punjab. Former Chief Justice of Kolkata High Court. Not a comma full stop was added by him. There was no dissent, no supplementing, not even an addition. One aspect. Second aspect, immediately on my retirement, a review petition was filed, which was dismissed except with the observation, well, we will not interfere with the judgment, but we will confine it to the state of Chhattisgarh. That was also not required because the whole debate was about the Chhattisgarh Salwa Judum. Salwa Judum was not everywhere else. Since you raised the topic without defending the judgment, I would make one statement since it is a Hindu and Deccan Herald. For others, sometimes it becomes difficult to get the nuance. I said to tackle this quote-unquote menace of Naxalism, the state, which has the exclusive right to use violence through its arms and ammunition. It is the state alone that can use that power. Cannot be used against the targeted group through another instrumentality. In one word, to say you can't outsource your power. I never said Supreme Court never said that you don't fight the Naxalites. So you said you can't create a group and arm them. And there are a couple of words in that judgment. I said one tribal killing the other tribal. Whether the Naxals get killed or whether the Salwa Judum fellow gets killed, both of them are tribals. I said, this is not envisaged by the Constitution. I'm sorry, not I. Supreme Court said, this is not envisaged by the Constitution. That is all what is said in that judgment. But if somebody speaks and expounds the Constitution and its values, the scope of a right to life and liberty, if one becomes an answer, then I don't know. I stop there. It is for the society and informed sections of the people like you to decide what it is.